So Tomi Lahren is pretty weird. So she pops up in the news every once in a while, and today is one of those days. It kind of happens rarely, every once in a while now. She's not nearly as popular as she used to be. I think she's really died down in terms of attention and popularity. But she seems kind of bizarre. Now, one thing is there's a separate story, which I will be also covering, of her defending Caitlyn Jenner against conservatives who are attacking her for being trans. She's defending Caitlyn Jenner because I guess she supported Trump and all that stuff. But this is a separate story, of course. And this is a tweet from Tomi Lahren actually coming back to bite her from the past. There was one with Candace Owens where, like a year ago, Candace Owens was giving India as an example for why social distancing wasn't necessary. And then a year later, there was a major outbreak following a lot of public events going on. I forgot what exactly happened there, what event it was that ended up causing the super spreader. But they ended up getting devastated by coronavirus. This one is kind of different. So here what we can see is this is a tweet from just 5 days ago. It appears she's very anti-vax for coronavirus. She says, Biden should be sending his vaccine patrol down to the border. The illegal immigrants are bringing in lots of COVID. Start there. But she also had more tweets that actually is just one of them. I wanted to show you a different one where she actually is calling it experimental, the experimental vaccine. So, what it says is, when Biden's vaccine patrol comes a knockin', they can kiss my country ass. Take your experimental vaccine and shove it in your own arms. So this is very conspiratorial, obviously, saying experimental vaccine. I don't even think it's true that it's an experimental vaccine. I mean, it went through the emergency FDA process, which isn't the same as the regular FDA process, but it went through its clinical trials. You can see all the information. All of them went through their own clinical trials. It took like a year, more than a year. There was clearly, they found the results. There's no real downside to taking it except for some very extremely microscopically rare cases, or if you have like a severe allergy. Those are really the only times. There may be something super rare, but it's virtually nothing, especially statistically insignificant in any of those situations for the vast majority of people. So it's not experimental, and trying to say the vaccine patrol thing, I think is trying to do a reference to the Gestapo. So it's another one of those conservative tactics, obviously. But it's interesting because we go back. This is not even a long time. This is 2 years. They're might even be less. Here's a tweet from 2019. What is that? Probably, I don't know, May, April, I think. She says, no, we have a measles outbreak in LA County, as if we don't have enough problems. If not vaccinating your kid only impacted your kid, fine. But that's not the case. Vaccinate your kids or stay home. Wow, that's pretty interesting, don't you think? That's the exact opposite of what she's saying now. And don't you think that the tiny measles outbreak that was going on in LA County is microscopic in comparison to what's going on with the coronavirus pandemic worldwide right now? Seems very bizarre. And this one makes it really bizarre because this isn't like some old tweet that was pulled up from 2012 or something like that. This is 2019, dude. That's almost exactly 2 years ago. Okay. This is what I think that's April 25th of 2019. So you're talking about basically 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And then this is another one. This is a Ross Story article says Fox's Tomi Lahren shreds selfish parents who won't vaccinate their kids. Yup, vaccination shouldn't be partisan. Period. So this is definitely very cringe, obviously, because it's a complete 180-degree turn. And you may say, well, the measles vaccine is really well tested. The COVID vaccine is not. The COVID vaccine is very well tested. It went through over a year of clinical trials. All of the stuff that they found through the trials have held true to monitoring the population. It's gone through. It's got FDA authorization for emergency use. There's virtually no downsides to it, so that's not really true at all. It's gone through its clinical trials. It took time to make. It took quite a bit of time to make, in fact. So that's not really true either. So it's very bizarre to see this. And these kinds of things make me wonder, is she a grifter? Like, I don't know. Like, are you lying about stuff to uh, ally yourself with the right wing? Are you just stupid? Are you dumb? I'm not really sure. And then, it's even weirder because she's been down to go against the right on certain stuff, like whether it be abortion or now Caitlyn Jenner. So it makes it even weirder because it's the question of, are you grifting? Did you genuinely change your mind? If so, why? I don't know. Is it because it's hyper political now? The measles vaccine stuff, it's nowhere near as political as coronavirus vaccine is, right? And so again, when you say stuff like shove it in your own arms, we did, right? We got the vaccine. Now we need you guys to get it because it's a community of lots and lots of people. And if people don't have the vaccine, you're putting other people in danger. But not only that, it's way worse than that. It's way, way worse than that, because what's actually true is, as long as the vaccine is not, taken by people in the U.S., and all around the world, by the way, what's going to end up happening is the virus is just going to continue to mutate and mutate into something worse, and eventually that strain that we're going to get, it can be either completely, able to break through the vaccine and you'll need a new vaccine, or it could just do significant damage. Like, as of right now, something like over 90% or somewhere around 90% protection against symptomatic disease, even from the Delta variant, which is becoming the big deal now. It's becoming the much stronger coronavirus in terms of transmission and strength. But even that right now, it's like 90% against symptomatic disease. And it's very, very heavy protection. I don't remember what the percentage is from even contracting the virus entirely. But if you continue to be unvaccinated, what's going to happen? Well, you are going to allow the virus to continue to mutate. The Spanish flu didn't turn as deadly as it did for, I think like a year or so. It took a few waves for it to turn as deadly as it did. And you're seeing in areas like Canada and other areas that are struggling to get vaccines, or were struggling to get vaccines, you saw that younger people were showing up in ICUs way more often. So as it starts to mutate, it starts to become more deadly. And I don't know why you wouldn't want less people to get it, because it's like, even if the odds of dying are like 3% or whatever, it would be, although it's different for different people, obviously. It's like 3% of like 10 million is a lot more than 3% of like 100,000 or 10,000 or something. So, you want to lower all of that kind of stuff. So it's very important. Just shoving the vaccine in, my own arms. And also, if you don't get the COVID vaccine and there's a bunch of people getting coronavirus, you're putting a really heavy strain on the medical system. That's really going to damage our medical supply line for regular stuff. People will have regular issues. Our hospitals are already smashed on a regular basis. Imagine adding coronavirus to that. So now you're seeing that areas that are not down to take the coronavirus vaccine, their coronavirus numbers are skyrocketing. So this situation with Tomi Lahren is just very bizarre. I don't really know whether she's grifting or she genuinely changed her mind. I have no clue.